So Creative Places Ballaghaderreen came about as a result of the Arts Office of Roscommon County Council making an application to the Arts Council of Ireland for the Creative Places programme. So there's a network of towns around Ireland that have applied for and are part of the Creative Places. We decided that Ballaghaderreen was going to be our focus. We linked in with local groups, with local organisations, with artists to explore the idea and to come up with the skeleton of the application that we would make to the Arts Council. It's coordinated then locally through the Arts Office, and Mary Smith in particular, who is the Public Art and Engagement Coordinator in the Arts Office. She took on the responsibility of managing and coordinating this project.
This is a research and development year, so we worked with 3 artists and they did research in the community, so they would have had residencies over the past year. And today is our final community consultation event, so it's all about reflecting on the year, how it went, what worked, what didn't. We spent the whole year kind of doing a trial of programming, responsive programming, listening to what people thought might work.
We engaged 3 artist researchers, Anna King, Nollaig, Molloy and Julie Sharkey, and they delivered projects on the ground linking with different communities, and then a number of other projects we linked in with the Ballaghaderreen Arts Festival. We had Culture Night events, Heritage Week events, so it's all part of linking in with what's happening in Ballaghaderreen.
The whole project's been very much arts based. The fact that we have these artist researchers in the area working with community groups, and we're using creativity and arts and using that then to have these conversations. And it's been a jam-packed year, and they have met and worked and with multiple different groups and individuals, and through their different places explored, collaborated and led to honest conversations on what a Creative Ballaghaderreen could be. Our approach throughout the year is focused on some of the many resources the area already has, which includes a lot of the artists and a lot of other things that you might spot in the pictures. While adapting to the feedback and what we're hearing from the people involved, our learning from the year has really highlighted the need for time and the slow build of trust through a mix of informal chats, targeted and open workshops and events, building networks and extending invitations.
But specifically, it's about places where there's a lack of arts infrastructure. It's about seeing what are the interests and the needs of the local community and the local artists, and what could we do through this research and development project, and where can we bring it to in terms of kind of softer projects. We'll look to see where we can link with our colleagues in the local authority, and then the Arts Council are now more familiar with Ballaghaderreen as a result of this project, and we'll see what the possibilities are.
So my name is Julie Sharkey and I'm a theatre maker from Ballaghaderreen and living in Ballaghaderreen. So I am one of the artist researchers on the Creative Places Ballaghaderreen programme for the year, and I connected with 2 groups specifically, I guess, Brothers of Charity and the Women's Circle. So the Brothers of Charity are based here in Ballaghaderreen, and it ended up sort of a number of other groups from various towns coming to join us. So my background is theatre, so we practice theatre throughout the beginning of the year.
My name is Anna King. I'm one of 3 artist researchers working with Creative Places Ballaghaderreen throughout the whole year since last November. And when I first started, the way I work is I walk around the areas, particularly from here because I'm not from the area. And I started just walking to specific sites, particularly heritage sites, getting to know people. And from this, I met a lot of people, and there was a lot of enthusiasm around the walks. So I then curated those into a series of 4 contemplative walks, and that really galvanised a lot of interest.
My name is Molloy. I was an artist researcher with Creative Places Ballaghaderreen, and over the past year I have explored different aspects of personal archives with community groups, their sense of place in terms of their own knowledge, their local knowledge of Ballaghaderreen, and kind of materials taken from the locality in order for them to connect with their surroundings, and the workshops that I have been doing with the men's shed in Ballaghaderreen and different community groups such as the E-Rock Centre have kind of encompassed different approaches to short workshops, day-long workshops, or I suppose a series of sessions which engaged in depth with memory, personal histories.
I was realised quite quickly that what the year was about was just getting to know each other, getting to know how we all worked together, and through drama we just started to devise and create, and it feels like the start of something really. I think the year has been a year of getting to know each other and creating together, but I think there's a lovely opportunity now to regroup and build on it and make that lovely project, make that lovely piece of theatre.
And one of the things that I identified through conversations with people throughout these walks was that it wasn't just the heritage sites themselves, so it wasn't the physical, tangible sites alone that was important to people, but it was also the stories, emotional connections, memories that were recounted throughout the walks that really, really struck me as being very important to the people. And then getting people to really sort of use their creativity to link into their memory and to their feelings around what place actually means to them.
Personal items which related to themselves and which they themselves have collected over years, and that was really insightful in terms of them sharing their own knowledge on specific trades and places within the town of Ballaghaderreen, and they ended up teaching each other a lot about themselves and the place of Ballaghaderreen.
I think there's been a huge benefit to this community, and it feels like it's only starting. The buzz is in Balla now, so hopefully we can continue and build on it.
It's got this to do with creative places, but it became clear and it was really nice.
Yeah. Okay. So
I think just building on that, because we only just started.
Okay.
Needed a lot of time to get acquainted with both the physical and then the social environment, which they did brilliantly. And I think the projects were wonderful. So I really hope that they will ask the same artists to come back and do more. And give them more time. Because a year is just enough to get into it and get something going. But the continuity is what worries me. It will be another thing that is nice for a year and then everything is gone again. Maybe in a few years' time we get someone with an idea and it happens again and it dies out again. That would be a pity. So I really hope that it will be a structural thing for several years.
They're going around, they have to beg for premises all the time. That's the biggest problem, is there is no actual dedicated exhibition space, performance space, and which means they have to be looking for meeting rooms.
It's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I think if it goes, it will be hugely missed because it's kind of held the groups together. It's kind of given us like what would I say, a frame. And holds us close. And there's more of a buzz about the place with the arts, especially. It would be a great shame if the funding doesn't come to keep Creative Places going.
I think towns like anywhere in the world, they need more things like this, especially to bring people together. And
we've been very
maybe
lucky.
They need more communication to broaden the scope of people that can come in and get involved. Personally, now I've seen what it's about, I want to be involved in it as well. So,
I mean, Anna's workshops, Nollaig, Julie, all of them have been really good. So everyone as well, because I write and paint, is giving me an opportunity to participate in different activities. You know, it's brought a lot of people together.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It will be missed massively.
There as well. But just because we are actually finishing up, I just wanted to really do a tiny little mindfulness exercise really about just asking ourselves what might we bring into the future in terms of what we're just going to close our eyes and take a few breaths and say what small things can we actually achieve to keep Creative Places alive, moving on forward, because a lot of the conversations we've been having are for large things like, you know, getting a premises and all sorts of things, but there are lots of things we can do in our daily lives just to, I suppose, keep the energy of it alive. And somebody mentioned earlier a lovely comment which really touched my heart, was that creativity is not just about creating things like art or conversations, it's also about spending time together as a community, making new friends, building relationships, and then maybe even extending that energy and that feeling and that emotion to the wider community.